Yeah, so last week when we were talking about the upcoming games, I commented on Legends of Talia Arcadia, saying like, "Oh, this actually looks really good. I'm surprised that it's a $2 game. You know, the art is very very pretty." And lo and behold, I was contacted by the developer Gamuzumi. I probably butchered that, but and they said, "Would you be interested in reviewing the game?" Because I told them, I said, "Yeah, I was actually talking about the game." So they were kind enough to send me a code, and I did get to play. It's a $2 and change adventure, and it is a visual novel, and it is a visual novel in the sense of emphasis on the novel. There is no decisions to make in this game. This is a full just read novel. You can tell that at least I feel that the creators of this game are trying to set up a world. Like this, the Legends of Talia is the world they're creating, and this is one small snippet on a character called Arcadia, who is a legendary holy knight, and you kind of deal with a little bit of her past and one of the adventures she goes on, and I really wanted to make some decisions. I wish I got to do that, but I will say that it wasn't a bad story at all. It did keep me entertained. A lot of the writing was good, and some of it, was a little mistake here or there. That's going to happen. The art is beautiful, but I'm going to say also minimalistic. And what I mean by that is it feels like they did like nine or so images and like full images and then a few like character models and then just use those same images for everything. So like there's one attack image, and every time that Arcadia attacks, you're always going to see that image, maybe with a different background, but you're always going to see that image. Again, this was done by a really small studio. I think it's only a couple people, so that's to be understandable about that and forgiven. And I think they did a great job. I think this is a really cool starting point. But again, like this is a visual novel in this very sense of the word. It is a novel, and at the end, it even says thank you for reading, not for playing. So if you're into visual novels, like Zero Escape or even Steins Gate has some choices. Um, you might be like, this might not be for me, but it's also short. I'm gonna say it maybe took me an hour to read it all, an hour and a half. Based on being involved with other things in real life at the same time. So it's an easy read and it's not terribly long. It's a great start too. I don't know where they're going with it, but I do want to say thank you to Gamuzumi for providing the code. And yeah, I mean, if that sounds up your alley and just looking for something quick to read, by all means, it's a couple bucks. And if you're a trophy hunter, on PlayStation, you can easily get a platinum on this because you can actually just skip everything and get a platinum in about a minute.
Is it really just reading and you're like clicking along, or is there
Yep.
any interaction at all with what's
Nope.
happening?
No, the whole thing is 100% just reading. You're seeing the story of Arcadia as she, winds up going to this little town, and she confronts issues from her past. And like I said, the artwork is beautiful. It is, definitely minimalistic in the sense of, you will always see the same images when it's attacking or fighting a monster. You always see that monster. But again, it's 269. So you're not like really dropping a lot of money in it, but it is 100%, reading from Arcadia's point of view. But like I said, you could look at the images and like you could tell very talented artists, and they did a really good job and some really cool scenes, and it's not like a kid's story either. There's death. There's very descriptive stuff. There's you know people burning and stuff like that. Like it gets pretty dark, but it is very much just a reading thing. That's it. I don't I in the options. There's an option of saying something about like for option like skip cutscenes after you make decisions. Like you can tell they were probably had bigger ambitions when they started, and maybe time constraints. It's a lot of work to do and write, and maybe they just couldn't do that, and they just like left that option in. And it's a shame. I'd like to see where they go with it, because I am a fan of visual novels, but I am more of a fan of them when there are something to deviate it. Like Zero Escape has the escape rooms, and AI has the going inside people's heads and deciphering the truth behind their words, and stuff like that is just really really cool. Even the one I just did recently, Raging Loop, had that was very similar to this, but it did have some decisions, and those decisions really, it was like this decision to keep going, this decision to die for a lot of parts. But it still gave some more of a choice, and that was a really compelling one to me. um, and then you got cryptic ones like Steins Gate, where it's literally you get text messages and you have to respond, and if you don't respond a certain way, you lock out different endings. So it's like, in order to get the perfect ending, you have to respond to everybody a certain way, and sometimes you don't have to respond at all. So it's really cryptic, and that's one I definitely recommend using a guide. But this is something where if you've never done visual novel and you just want a little quick story, you want something to read, just to see, it's absolutely serviceable and cool. But if you're looking for more interactivity, unfortunately at this point there is none that I encountered. Like I said, it's definitely the foundation for something. You can see, I mean, even the logo, you can see there's a lot of hints towards Final Fantasy or Legends of Mana, or stuff like that, like the Square Enix logos. So it's definitely one of those cases where you can see they clearly want to build on this world, and I hope they do.
Thanks to the developers and the publishers for providing that for Barry to check it out. And yeah, if you've tried it out as well, we'd love to know what you guys think about the game.